Thank you for joining me on the Get What You Want podcast, where getting what you want isn't always what you think it is. My wish for you is that this show will create an awareness within yourself of what you really want and the possibility of getting it. Let's go create. My guest today is Stacy Rolfe. She is the owner and chief snuggler of the R&R Ranch and Miniature Horse Sanctuary. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Shirley. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm super excited to have you. I normally focus my show on getting what you want because it's a Get What You Want podcast. And we usually talk about people who have gotten businesses through obstacles and all the things that they've gone through. And I want to do something a little bit different with you today because I was on social media and your site just happened to pop up and there was the sweetest video of a miniature horse, Martha, running around, moonwalking, jumping, playing. And it just made me smile. And I thought, what an awesome brighten to my day. And so I wanted to bring you on my show to do that for our listeners, because I know the world is in kind of a dreadful, there's just like these gray clouds everywhere. And so tell me first who you are and what you do and how it was that you came to want the life that you're living right now.
Well, that's kind of a complicated story. I mean, it's a long answer, and I'm going to try to really abridge it for you. When my husband and I built our house, we were lucky enough to find a piece of property that was large. And my daughter is an equestrian, always has been since she was little. And so after we started to build the house, I said, Dave, I think there's enough room to build a barn. Why don't we build a small barn and bring Belle's horse home and her first pony? Why don't we bring them home? Because she was at that age where she has outgrown both of them. And therein lies part of the problem with owning a horse in the first place. So we thought, let's build a cute little 2-stall barn and let's bring them home and life will be good. Okay, so that was the plan. My daughter, who a lot of people who follow us know, her name is Belle. She's 25 years old and helps me with the barn a lot. She said, Mom, we should get a miniature horse. And I said, oh my gosh, that would be fun. So she went online, Craigslist. She found 2. And we bought them. They were about 6 hours away. The person drove them in, and they were 2 years old, and we were their 4th owner.
Wow.
So I try to let that sink into people when we tell people about horses. Being 2 years old and being transferred over to 4 different people in a very short time span is hard for any animal, let alone a horse. So it's not like we set out to do this. We did not set out to do this. I always say we are a very accidental rescue. This was not a grand plan. Our barn in our design phase went from 2 stalls to 4 stalls to 5 to 7 to 9.
Wow.
And as we have 24 horses living at home with us. And they're all miniature, they're all rescues, they all have their own individual stories. And we did not set out to do this. We are not like, my husband couldn't even tell you, well, he probably could tell you what the mane is on a horse, but like he just doesn't even know anything about horses. So this was not like he and I are like, oh, let's go do this. It just was a thing that occurred. We got those 2 horses, and very nice woman that owned them. In fact, she cried when she left them, and I promised her I would take good care of them. We stayed in touch, and lo and behold, she called me 6 weeks later, and she said, Stacy, I'm at an auction, and there's a little mini here with her baby. And I think they're going to sell them separately. They may sell them together. I don't know. And I said, Mary, I can't help you out. I have two. I didn't even want two. I wanted one. And I said, all I can do is hope that they go to a good home. So you see, Shirley, when horses go to an auction, whoever is the highest bidder gets the horse.
Right.
Doesn't matter if they have horse experience or not. Doesn't matter if they want to buy that horse. And if it weighs 150 pounds and they want to put a 150-pound person on it, it doesn't matter. It goes to the highest bidder. So, so I really had a hard time that night thinking about this horse that I never even saw, and the baby that may be separated. And I called her the next day and I said, Mary, has that horse been sold? And she goes, no, not yet. They haven't started. I said, okay, is there any way you can send me a picture of what she looks like? And she said, well, let me see if I can find someone who has a phone that takes pictures. And I said, okay. So I received a picture, and it was one of the sorriest looking little horses that you could imagine. She had no life in her eyes. Her little body was holding up a child who was on her back that was 2.5 times too heavy to be on her. His feet were almost touching the floor.
Oh.
And I said, without asking my husband or talking to him, I said, Mary, I don't care what you have to bid. I said, if you will make sure I get that horse and her baby, I will take them.
Oh.
And so we did. So we got her. And if you were to see the transformation of her coming to us, the condition that I saw her in, and the condition that she bloomed and blossomed to be, it's, pretty remarkable to see what care and love and maintenance on a horse does for them.
Or anything for that matter.
Anything. And that's the point. I tell people, because we provide tours of our barn every month, and I said, we are no different than the Humane Society. And when you go to pick out a dog, and they're barking and they're obnoxious and they're maybe cornered in a sitting in the corner, they're scared, they are waiting to bloom. They are not, that's not their true picture. And these horses that we get, it's not their true picture. They're still unfolding and they're waiting to blossom. So, so we went from not having any to having two in a span of 6 weeks. To having 4 in a span of 6 weeks.
Wow.
And then later that summer, we took 2 out of a field that were going to be, they were being raised for carnivals. They were going to be pony ride ponies. We're not real big fans of pony rides. So we were able to convince the owner to sell us these 2 girls. Unbeknownst to us, both were pregnant. So now we have 8 on our hands.
Wow.
It just happened. And more horses came. And when we heard their stories, we learned of them, or whatever it is, we have blossomed to 25 horses.
And a beautiful ranch. I haven't been there, but I've seen your website and I've watched videos of you. I believe it's your daughter and your dog walking the minis down the road. And I don't know, it just brings so much joy to my heart. I don't think that this is just something that, it was something that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for something like this large to happen, there has to be some sort of relationship that you have with your husband to be in on it, a relationship. Financially, there had to be some place for you guys to be able to, just have this happen. And so speaking to that a little bit, your husband, I saw a post that you had put about him, and I think that was actually the one that actually got me. And it was kind of a funny anniversary post about how he tells you no all the time. And I really loved that. But can you speak into that relationship? Because I think that's super important for anybody who's really wanting to, go for their passion or their dream, or to help people. what did that look like? What did that look like for him? And how was that relationship that would allow something like this to just keep happening?
Well, that was an anniversary post. We've been married for 33 years. And, I feel like I have someone in my life who truly is a partner. He has no interest in horses whatsoever. But on the times when I'm in the barn or I have to go up there and check on one of them and it's late, and I said, will you go up to the barn with me? It's always yes. And he'll go up to the barn, and it's just and it's nice that he can support my passion.
For
And
sure.
this isn't even a passion that I've had since I was little, okay? I really didn't even know much about miniature horses. It is nothing but a miracle that they have survived with me when I brought them home, because I had to learn. But Dave, my husband, has always been um, it sounds very trite to say that my husband has always told me, whatever I want, he's going to give me whatever I want in life, whatever I want in the world, he's going to do for me. And that is so gracious of a person to feel that giving to another person. And I try to be that way to him. He loves cars. I honestly don't like cars at all. Um, and I get aggravated if he's got cars, in my words, junking up the driveway, because they're not in a garage, they're not put away. But you know what? It's what he loves. And so when I think to myself, who am I not to let him enjoy what he wants? I married this 12-year-old kid, basically, who still wants to go ride bikes and play matchbox cars with his friends. And so he does what he wants. He's got a beautiful garage and he loves these old vintage cars. And I don't say, um, don't do that. Don't, whatever. That's what makes him happy. The barn and the animals and the horses and having a bunny sitting at my feet right now while I'm
Oh
talking
my
to you,
gosh, I can't wait
it
to
makes
bring him
me
on.
happy. And so, um, we just support each other.
So I did not even know that this was going to be part of our topic today, because I like to not really learn about people until until you get you here so that I can learn along with our guests. But I wrote a book called Get What You Want from Your Man. And a lot of my book, like, I think I could learn things from you. It sounds like what I try to teach, and that is, for how we're being in our relationship is how other people react or act towards us. And a lot of the book has to do with that type of thing. And so that's super awesome to hear that you have that type of relationship where you both are supportive of each other's passions, whatever they may be. And it sounds like he didn't know what he was getting in you all those years later. It just happened. And I think my husband probably feels like that with me too a lot. And my husband is also a 12-year-old boy with his motorcycles and bikes and, just all of that. I think we all marry that when we marry a man. So I love that you embrace that and support it. And you're super smiley when you're talking about him. And how many years did you say you've been married?
33.
There you go. This is like my love story post. So I love that so much. And I think that really what I see in you and what I'm getting from you is really all about love and nurturing, whether it be the minis, whether it be the dog or the bunny, which you probably need to just pick up and show us all now that you've talked about that. But I think that, wow, what a beautiful thing to come out of this. I was trying to think, I just want to interview her because I love what she's doing and I love supporting things that are good in the world. And now I'm really realizing that there was a lot more to that, which is we don't always know what we want until we know what we want, right?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think it just finds you, it just finds you. And I didn't seek out having all these horses. I didn't seek out all this publicity with, Martha, and how just introducing her simply on my Instagram page captured the heart of
Everyone.
everyone, literally everyone. It just happened. And, I I still shake my head over how things have changed with the world. I just read a letter this morning that somebody from Connecticut sent me. Um, I've been doing something weekly called Reading with the Horses, where I just read a book for children. And I
Watch
like to
those.
do that because I think that a number of reasons. Kids are home right now. They're bored. It gives them something to do. Maybe they can turn on and watch and be with us for half an hour, 45 minutes. There's nothing that we do that is ever anything a parent would have to worry that their children sees or hears. So we thought it would be a nice thing to do. And it's also nice reading with the horses that kids get a little exposure to horses. And you never know what kind of curiosity you can pique and, find that loving spot that a child might have towards a horse. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I did a thing where I taught kids how to write a letter, because I think that that's a long lost art,
Oh,
is
for sure.
sending mail and getting it in the mailbox. And so I was trying to do, just a tiny little part of in the world of helping kids think they can write a letter to someone, and it can be really, really joyful to get a letter back in the mail. So if they sent a letter to me, I sent a letter back to them. And it's been fun. And I've had a wonderful response from that. And I've really enjoyed these kids. But I also had a letter from an adult that I just got and I read this morning. And it honestly brought me to tears. And it wasn't even a sad letter. It was just that, you can reach people, you don't know what's going on in their life. And the fact that somebody took the time to sit down and write me 3 pages of very light level writing, what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a deep
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
That just had a big impact on me.
I bet.
It does.
Yeah. I get that once in a while, and
Are you feeling stuck in your relationship? Do you feel you need more? Whether it be more time, attention, security, gifts, intimacy, or companionship, your partner is likely experiencing something similar. Yet both of you are not sure how to fix it. In Shirley Baldwin's best-selling book, Get What You Want From Your Man, she will show you how to get all of this and more. Get What You Want From Your Man is available nationwide through all major bookstores, Amazon.com, and through her website, www.getwhatyouwantguru.com.
I know sometimes you just wonder what you do it all for, and
Yeah.
and I'm sure that you find a lot of rewards just from the animals themselves around you, and from the beauty of your ranch and all of that. I can imagine. I just close my eyes and imagine being there. But I think sometimes we just wonder, like, what is this all for? And then one person can send you something or write something. I actually just had this happen to me yesterday. Somebody from my high school contacted me, and he needed help, and he didn't know who else to turn to, and he had seen that I was kind of in the help business. And so I just made it a priority to contact him and to give him an hour of my time. And he wrote a big post this morning, and on my Facebook, and I felt like, wow, if we can only help one person once in a while, it just makes it all worth it. And I really see with you, I just feel all of this love and nurturing and service, and what a blessing. And I'm sure that you get blessings tons coming back to you, because look at what you've created through that. So I feel like it's a really big lesson for people to learn, especially right now. There's just so much hatred and fighting and, uncertainty in the world. And I just really want to bring light and love. And I think this is the perfect place to have it. And you are the perfect person for me to interview today. So tell me, I don't know, like, have you always been this person, or is it something that you've learned over the years, or is it something you've just become? What word of advice could you give our listeners today for them to maybe just see things just a different way just for today, to move into that direction of love and service?
Um, I think, yes, I have always been this person. I've always been what many would say about a young child. You call them an old soul.
Yes.
I've always been that way. I wanted to be with my aunts and uncles. I wanted to be with my parents' friends when I was young. When I was little, I wanted to be with them. I wasn't like an interruptive kid, but I could carry on a conversation. I wanted to be with my teachers. I wanted to help them. That was just me. I was always an animal person from day one. My mom and dad, my dad worked all the time running his business. And my dad, which is important to note, my dad owned a trash hauling company. So my dad, when it was snowing, when it was freezing temperatures, and it was a small startup company, it was my dad who would be gone in the middle of the night, making sure all the trucks were started and they were running, so that when the drivers got there, they had trucks to get into and the brakes weren't going to, freeze up. And if a driver didn't show up, it was my dad who got on that truck and picked up trash. And so I learned, those are the things that you do. It doesn't matter who the person was that you were filling in for. It's just that someone was counting on you. You have to go do the job. And my mom, on the other hand, who stayed home with us, allowed us our animals. And we had dogs and a cat, and we had bunnies, we had guinea pigs, we had all these things. And so I was raised with animals, and I was raised with, volunteering back in the day when a young child could volunteer without a parent. And I was 9 or 10 years old, and I could be dropped off, and I would clean dog runs, and all of that at an animal sanctuary. Now you can't do that unattended, but I still have a scrapbook of dogs when they would go in as pet of the week, and I would write a little story under it, and I would say, oh, you know what, I loved Smokey because he was always so scared, and I was so happy when he got adopted.
Aww.
It's just who I am. I mean, animals have always been such a part. Looking at Franklin on the ground, who is
You need to bring
so
him
stretched
on.
out, like he's just listening to
So
everything.
cute. He's so cute.
Oh my gosh. But it's just been who I am. And I think that if people realize that sometimes it takes so little to make another person happy or feel good. And I hear this all the time when people message me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, when they message me and I respond to them, a lot of times I hear, oh my gosh, I can't believe you wrote me back. So I guess there's a lot of people out there that don't respond to messages.
Oh, for sure.
Is to me like, why aren't you responding? And I get it. If you're a celebrity or whatever, you probably have hundreds, if not thousands of messages. But for those of us who run accounts that don't have that deep, layer, I respond to them. And my daughter, you know, she always tells me, she's like, Mom, this is not normal. This is not usual. Like, I have so many followers that I have never met, and I know a lot about them. And I know a lot about their life, their history, their health. Um, and there's certain people that have really struck a chord with me, as much as I feel like our ranch or me have struck a chord with them. And I have been known to reach out to some followers to say, I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you okay? And
Wow.
I'll get back, you know, I've been in the hospital, I've had this or that. And because I know there's health issues. I have sent gifts when I hear from someone and they tell me these stories. Nobody asks for anything, and I've never been asked for anything. But if Martha means so much to them, then I can send them a little Martha doll to sit in their home. You know,
I love that.
I can send them an ornament to put on their tree. You know, just different things that when they respond, it's like they've never received a gift before in their life.
I think that the art of touching people through any type of physical means, through a gift, through words, through, you know, all of these different ways, is just like the letters. It's just lost in time. I am much like you. I feel honored that I can even say that I could be like somebody like you, but I too was raised with animals, and I have worked at a lot of rescues. I used to work with large cats, and very rewarding to see wild animals really appreciate who you are, you know, to them, and any type of animals. And I the one thing that I feel that we can learn from animals is unconditional love. It doesn't matter what you do to them. It doesn't matter what condition those horses came to you in. They still have so much love to give. And we as people, I feel, could really benefit from realizing that we can create whatever we want in our lives. We can create whatever we want to be. And we really can get what we want from other people, and not in the sense of, you know, worldly, but to get what we want in the sense of knowing that people are feeling peace, that they are feeling love, that they're feeling compassion. And we have that ability to create that with a single thought. And you are pretty famous. I mean, like, from what I see, you are a celebrity in your own world. And I think that the fact that you still take the time to do that, to reach out, and Martha is special. I really encourage every single person listening to go to your website, and we're going to give that at the end of the show, and just watch the videos of how much hope and love was given to this little Minnie who didn't have much. And she thinks she has like grown horse legs now. And it's the most adorable thing I've ever seen. And it has brought tears, and I have laughed, and I've played it for, I don't even know how many people. And that's when I'm the same way. Like, I don't really interact with many of my followers. And I mean, I interact with my followers, but I don't interact with people that I follow very often. I don't spend a lot of time on social media. But it's something like that when it just grabs your heart, and then it grabs your heart again. I was like, I have to have them. I have to have them on my show. I have to help in whatever way that I can help. And this is my gift to you, is to be able to put it out to my listeners so that people can see who you are and feel inspired and hopeful from what you're doing. So I'm just so grateful for you to be here today.
Oh,
And
very sweet.
can Franklin come on our show?
Yes. Let me reach down and grab him. Come here, Frank. Come here, sweet man.
Franklin is the cutest bunny.
So Franklin is a dwarf Holland Lop, and he is almost 1 year old. He's a baby. He's also kind of he's a very good representative for, he's my third bunny. The first one was an easy easygoing bun. I had her for the longest, almost 7 years. The last bun that I had, his name was Walter. He was just turned 1 when, hold on, mister. When I lost him very suddenly, which
Oh,
happens with rabbits. But Walter had been very mild-mannered from the get-go, not so much Franklin.
I
And
can
so, Franklin is a really good representative that people can see, that and people see his videos and they see him come when he's called and play with the dogs and this, that, and the other. But Franklin's been a lot of work.
yeah.
And it takes a lot of work to really socialize them and to have the kind of relationship that people want to have with bunnies. He did not come easily. And he's magnificent. I mean, he's just a great, wonderful, awesome, amazing little bunny. But he's way more indicative of what people get than Walter was, who was anybody in the world could pick him up, carry him, hold him, whatever. And Franklin is much more of a typical bun that you've got to work with them.
Yeah. Wow, he's adorable.
He hangs out with me when I'm in the house, and he runs around wherever he wants to in the house. He is perfect with the dogs, perfect with our cat, comes when he's called, has his own room, and provides a lot of comic relief.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Well, it's just another thing that speaks into your nurturing. And because I don't think any of us think of a bunny being able to cuddle up to a dog or play with the cats or that type of thing. So
Yeah.
thanks again so much for being here. Please
Well,
tell us how we can get in touch with you, your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, and any type of thing that our listeners can do to help out the R&R mini ranch or miniature horse.
yeah, sanctuary. Yeah, I know it's a mouthful. So you can find us just about anywhere. Our website is rnrranchminis.com.
Okay, perfect.
And then our Facebook and our YouTube and our Instagram is R&R Ranch Minis. So you can find us anywhere. YouTube is interesting for our followers because it is totally different content than what is on our other social media pages. It's much more background information on the horses. So people have really found that the background information on bunnies and dogs and blah, blah, blah. But it's very different content. So you can find us just about everywhere. We do not ask for donations. There is a place on our website that offers it, but there is a disclaimer with it. And the disclaimer is that we know that there are a lot of places who could use donations more than we could. And so we always suggest that people find a local organization that could really use some help financially. On the very few donations that we do get, it is a way that people say, I just want to do something. I love what you guys do so much. And that's why it's there. But we always suggest that there is somebody else who could probably use it more than we could.
That is so kind of you. Well, all of you out there who are animal lovers, and those of you who are not animal lovers, in fact, there's probably nobody that's not animal lovers, but all of you go to this website and just go to the Instagram, watch the videos. No matter what you're doing in your life, you'll be inspired to want to serve and love and nurture and give. And that's what I wanted this show to be about today. And you just fit so perfectly into this, Stacy. Thank you. I'm so grateful that you were here, and I will see you soon. I'm going to take a trip out one of these years when we can leave our state and come visit your ranch.
We would love that. Thank you so much, Shirley. It's been just wonderful talking with you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Get What You Want podcast. If you loved it, please subscribe, share it with others, and leave me a review on Apple Podcast. You can also visit me on my website at www.getwhatyouwantguru.com. Would love to hear from you. Now go create.